Controls are the rules and measures an organization uses to manage risk and achieve its goals. They include policies, procedures, and structures that guide how work is done. Effective controls can prevent problems, detect issues, and help recover when things go wrong. For example, a password policy prevents unauthorized access, while data backups help restore lost files after a system crash. Controls can be manual, like a supervisor approving payments, or automated, such as a system that locks users after failed logins. Internal controls give reasonable assurance that business goals will be met and risks managed properly. It's the board and senior management's role to promote a strong control culture and make sure controls stay effective through regular monitoring. In auditing, we look at different types of controls that help organizations manage risk. 1. Preventive controls stop problems before they happen. For example, segregation of duties ensures that no single person can approve and pay a vendor. Password policies or authorization requirements also help prevent fraud or errors. 2. Detective controls find issues after they occur. Think of bank reconciliations that uncover errors in account balances or system monitoring tools that alert IT when unusual activity happens. 3. Corrective controls fix problems once detected. For instance, if a data error is found, an adjusting journal entry or a system patch can correct it. If fraud is uncovered, management might also enforce disciplinary actions. 4. Deterrent controls discourage bad behavior by showing there will be consequences. Examples include CCTV cameras in banks, warning banners on systems, or visible security guards that make people think twice before doing wrong. 5. Compensating controls are backups when a main control is missing or weak. For example, if biometric access isn't available, two-factor authentication, 2FA, can serve as a compensating control. Or, if automatic logs are missing, manual reviews can fill the gap. Together, these controls help organizations prevent, detect, and respond to risks effectively. Controls help reduce the chance or impact of risks in an organization. The kind of control you need depends on how serious the risk is. For example, if a company handles sensitive customer data, the risk of data theft is high. So strong controls like data encryption and limited system access are needed. But for a low-risk process like printing monthly reports, lighter controls may be fine. This relationship between risk and control is always changing. When new risks appear, like moving from on-premise servers to cloud storage, old controls may no longer work, so new ones must be added. Effective controls help prevent, detect, or fix problems before they cause damage. But when controls are weak or missing, risks stay unmanaged, like when a company doesn't separate who approves and who pays vendors, increasing the chance of fraud. That's why regular risk assessments are important. They help keep controls up to date. If one control isn't enough, you can add another or use a compensating control. For instance, if your system doesn't have biometric login, you can use two-factor authentication to provide similar protection. In short, good controls must always match the level of risk, and when risks change, controls must change too. Prescriptive controls are mandatory rules or requirements set by laws, regulations, or industry standards. They tell organizations exactly what must be done, leaving little or no room for flexibility. For example, the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS, requires all businesses that handle card payments to encrypt customer card data. This isn't optional. The Center for Internet Security, CIS, provides specific system hardening guidelines, while OWASP-SAM gives clear steps for secure software development. Other frameworks like SOC reports, Cloud Security Alliance, CSA, and the Cloud Controls Matrix, CCM, also define mandatory control measures for security and compliance. If a control from one of these frameworks doesn't apply, for instance, if your company doesn't process payment cards, you must clearly document the reason why it's not relevant. This ensures transparency and shows that your organization still takes compliance and risk management seriously. Internal controls are the rules, procedures, and actions an organization uses to protect its assets, ensure accurate records, and work efficiently while staying within the law. For example, a manager approving payments before they're made helps prevent errors or fraud. Reconciliations make sure financial records match actual transactions, and access restrictions ensure only authorized people can use sensitive systems or data. Management is responsible for setting up and running these controls, while the board of directors provides oversight. Internal audit checks whether the controls are working effectively, and employees must follow them every day to help the organization stay safe and achieve its goals. These controls should be reviewed and improved regularly, for instance, after a system upgrade or a fraud incident, to keep them effective as risks evolve. Control objectives are the specific goals an organization sets to make sure its operations are effective, efficient, and trustworthy. They act as benchmarks for checking whether internal controls are well-designed and working properly. These objectives come from the company's overall goals and focus on key risk areas. For example, a control objective could be to protect company assets, ensure accurate financial reporting, or comply with laws and regulations. Let's take a bank as an example. One control objective may be to ensure all cash transactions are recorded correctly. The control measures that support this could include daily reconciliations, authorization limits, and system access controls. So, control objectives describe what you want to achieve, while control measures describe how you achieve it. Together, they help keep operations smooth, compliant, and secure. Bias control objectives are designed to make sure an organization's technology environment is secure, reliable, and well-managed. First, we must ensure only authorized users have access to systems and data. For example, a bank's online platform should allow only verified customers and staff to log in, using passwords or two-factor authentication. Next, sensitive data must be protected from unauthorized access or changes. Think of a hospital system that restricts patient record access to doctors and nurses only. We also need to secure the network infrastructure, including firewalls, routers, and intrusion detection systems, to block hackers or malware from entering the organization's systems. Another key control is change management, ensuring any updates to applications or systems go through proper approval and testing to avoid service disruptions. An incident response plan must be in place, detailing how to detect, assess, and respond when a cyber attack or system failure occurs. For example, isolating affected servers during a ransomware attack. We also ensure compliance with laws and standards like NDPA, PCI DSS, or ISO 27001 to maintain data security and privacy. Lastly, business continuity and disaster recovery plans help maintain service availability, such as restoring a company's operations quickly after a data center outage. Together, these IaaS control objectives protect the organization's systems, data, and reputation. As auditors, we need to understand that when a control is weak or missing, there might be other controls in place that help reduce the same risk. These are called compensating controls. For example, if a company's system doesn't automatically block inactive user accounts, the auditor should check if the IT team performs monthly manual reviews to disable such accounts. That manual process acts as a compensating control. Usually, achieving a control objective doesn't depend on just one control. So, auditors must perform different tests, such as observing processes, reviewing documents, and interviewing staff, to see how various controls work together. Sometimes, a combination of smaller controls, like access logs, management reviews, and approval workflows, can collectively reduce the same risk that a missing main control was meant to address. Before reporting a weakness, an IS auditor should always check for these compensating measures. It's possible that, while one control is missing, others make the system reasonably safe. Even if not every single procedure is present, the auditor's goal is to evaluate the overall strength of the control environment, looking at both its strong and weak points, before concluding. This balanced approach ensures fair and accurate audit findings. General controls are broad controls that apply to the entire organization, not just one system or process. Administrative or managerial controls. These are policies and procedures set by management to guide how things should be done. Example: having an IT policy that defines who can approve user access or how data should be backed up. Technical controls. These are technology-based safeguards that protect systems and data. Example: using firewalls, antivirus software, or multi-factor authentication to prevent unauthorized access. Physical controls. These protect the organization's physical assets like computers, servers, and documents. Example: locked server rooms, CCTV cameras, or security guards preventing unauthorized entry. Together, these three types of general controls form the foundation for keeping an organization's systems secure and reliable. IS-specific controls are measures that help organizations protect their IT systems, data, and operations while ensuring technology supports business goals. First, IT strategy ensures that technology projects align with business objectives. For example, a bank adopting online banking to improve customer experience. IT, governance, and management make sure IT decisions are well-guided, such as having a committee review major IT projects. Access controls restrict system use to authorized people, like only doctors being able to view patient records. Software development and change control ensure system updates are properly tested and approved before use, preventing errors after deployment. Operations procedures involve routine IT activities like backups and monitoring to keep systems running smoothly. Quality assurance, QA, checks that new applications meet standards before release. Physical access controls protect server rooms using locks or biometric access. Technical support and system programming maintain system security and performance through updates and patches. Business continuity and disaster recovery plans, BCP/DRP, help organizations continue operations during disruptions. For instance, a company using backup data centers during power outages. Network and communication controls secure data during transmission using firewalls or VPNs. Database administration safeguards stored information, like limiting access to HR data. Finally, protective and detective mechanisms, such as antivirus and monitoring systems, help identify and stop security threats early. Together, these controls ensure systems are secure, reliable, and aligned with business goals, reducing risks and improving overall efficiency. Organizations invest in technology to make their operations faster, more efficient, and more reliable. One major way they do this is by using business application systems, like accounting software for finance, HR systems for managing staff, inventory systems for stock control, and sales systems for customer transactions. For example, a hotel might use a reservation system to manage room bookings, while a retail company uses a point-of-sale system to track daily sales and stock levels automatically. Each of these systems helps automate key business processes, reducing errors and saving time. But they also introduce risks, such as data errors, unauthorized access, or system failures, that can affect business operations if not properly controlled. That's why auditors need to understand how these systems work, their design, the data they handle, and the controls built into them. For instance, an auditor reviewing a payroll system must check that only approved employees are paid and that salary calculations are accurate. By understanding both the process, how the system works, and the controls, how risks are managed, an IS auditor can assess whether the organization's applications support business goals securely, efficiently, and in compliance with policies and regulations. Many companies use different computer systems to make their work faster and more accurate. As IS auditors, we need to understand how these systems work, what could go wrong, and how they are protected. E-commerce systems, like Jumia or Amazon, help people buy and sell online. The risks include fake payments, hackers stealing customer data, or fake orders. To reduce these risks, companies use tools like secure websites, SSL, fraud detection systems, and strong passwords. Electronic Data Interchange (EDI) lets two companies, such as a supermarket and a supplier, send documents like orders and invoices automatically. Risks include someone changing the data or sending wrong files. To stay safe, they use encryption, access control, and record every transaction. Email systems are used by everyone, but they are also a common way for hackers to attack. People can receive phishing emails or malware. To prevent this, companies use spam filters, antivirus software, and train staff not to click strange links. Industrial control systems, ICS, run machines in factories or utilities like power and water. If hacked, they could stop work or cause accidents. Controls include separating the network from the internet, keeping systems updated, and using physical security. Artificial intelligence systems make smart decisions, like detecting fraud or predicting customer behavior. Risks include unfair results or wrong decisions if data is bad. To manage this, companies check data quality, test for bias, and keep audit trails. In short, every business system has its risks, and it's the CISA auditor's job to make sure good controls are in place to protect the organization.